pretty good company.
Your officials tonight, Doug Sermons, Chance Moore, Tommy Johnson. It's the home whites for the Knights and the road cardinal red for the number 10 Cyclones. And we are underway, and the Knights control the opening tip. Darius Johnson, the point guard, number 3 in white. Here's Hall on Jefferson. Jefferson slips, Hall makes him pay.
And now a bit of a wet spot slip right there for Joshua Jefferson. Nevertheless, Keyshawn Hall showing his versatility, the ability to step out and make that 3-ball.
Last 5 games, Keyshawn Hall 55% from beyond the arc.
And that's been the difference for him in conference play. He shot the ball very well from the outside, which has opened up his ability to drive the basketball.
Here's the big man, Keshon Jackson. Gives it up to Jefferson. As BJ told you, 30 points the last time these teams played. Milan Momcilovic.
Component the Cyclones missed during his absence. The ability, if you're going to Jefferson down there on the block, when they get that swing out of the trap, Milan Momcilovic is one of the best spot-up shooters in the Big 12.
Missed 7 games with a broken hand, came back last time out. All he did was hit 4 threes against TCU.
And it opens the floor for the rest of the group, Rich. I mean, we have a guy at 6'7" that shoots 46% from 3. It allows the driving lanes that much more to be open.
Swallowed up by the Cyclones defense, and the is called.
And right here, you get a little isolation. Keyshawn Hall behind the back. Wet spot, it's okay. For Keyshawn Hall, you'll take the open shot any day of the week. It's a great move to create space and get the triple off.
Crowd chanting for defense, and they get some.
And that's what you got to be prepared for. The Knights are going to switch ball screens 1 through 4 all night long. They're going to have mismatches. Iowa State just has to be ready to take advantage of those, as they did in the first matchup up in Ames.
Here's Juice Ivy Curry with the ball, 0 in white, guarded by Lipsey, one of the best defensive players in the nation.
Nice job of Keshon Jackson coming over, providing a little assistance.
Dangerous pass, 5 on the shot clock for UCF. Float game, no good. Lipsey, and now it's Gilbert leading the charge. Here's Jefferson. Momcilovic. And he misses that time. The rebounder, the freshman, Mustafa Cham, who's been a real pleasant surprise this year.
He most certainly has. I mean, had a really tough game against Hunter Dickinson early on against Kansas. And since then, the freshman has really settled into his role.
That shot off the mark by Debo Coleman. Both teams made their first shots from 3 and haven't made one since. Pocket pass, Jefferson has an easy 2.
So a really nice job of getting to a little 2-man game between Tamin Lipsey and Josh Jefferson. The Knights not great at rotating defensively. They don't communicate well. They're not always engaged on that side of the ball.
And a good effort on the pass, and a foul is called.
Out of semi-transition here, Lipsey, one of the steadiest point guards in the league, just drops off a nice little pocket pass in between the UCF defenders. And see, on the bottom there, that's Debo Coleman's rotation, Rich. The Knights have struggled tremendously when it comes to dealing with ball screens.
There's TJ Otzelberger in his 4th season at Iowa State. The 47-year-old, though, bleeds Cardinal red and gold. And Johnny Dawkins in his 9th year in Orlando, the only active head coach in the College Hall of Fame and a Naismith Player of the Year award, to his credit. He also has 6 top 25 wins in this building. Tonight would be a much-needed number 7.
Yeah, this is the most important game of the season for UCF, and we're going to be quite frank. This game has turned into a must-win if they want to keep their chances alive of making the NCAA Tournament. They began last week on the first 4 out. Going into Baylor over the weekend, they worked their way to the next 4 out, and then after that loss, now they're on what we're saying is the next 4 out. So
right.
The Knights have to pick up a good win.
And look at the 7'2" freshman, Mustafa, showing some touch from the free throw line. A 70% free throw shooter. We're tied at 5.
And Mikey Williams checked into the game. He's defending Curtis Jones. Got to watch out for that.
The super sub back into his six-man role with Momcilovic coming back to the lineup.
Changes the whole dynamic of their team, Rich.
Here he is with the ball, gives it up to Chatfield for an easy two. Well, we've seen that twice already.
No question. Great job of getting into a set where it puts the Knights and a lot of pressure on that backside to deal with the roller.
Chom for three. He showed the ability to do that last time out, but not his specialty yet.
No, you want to get a couple more ball reversals, some of those later three-point attempts for a guy like him. The early ones, to work the ball around for a better look.
Here's Curtis Jones. Now they swing it to the corner. Keshon Gilbert off the mark. Offensive rebound, Nate Heisey. Jones, got it!
Winning teams make winning plays for the floor. It's exactly what Nate Heisey did, crashing the board on that offensive rebound. He's not going to get the credit in the score column, but he created that opportunity for Curtis Jones.
Baseline floater and a tough for Mikey Williams, who had 8 points at Baylor last.
Yeah, one of the more heralded freshmen coming into UCF this year. A lot of pub, a lot of notoriety. Played well late against Baylor, scored 8 points. Mikey Williams may be a guy that gets an expanded role here down the stretch for UCF.
Momcilovic, they swing it around again. 10 on the shot clock for the Clones. Now Curtis Jones in scoring mode. He misses, and the foul's going to go on Brandon Chatfield. We have a timeout on the floor. Iowa State, number 10 points. UCF trails by 3.
Probably going to shoot. When he goes to his right, he's probably going to drive. Just spilling all the beans on their friends, but it's always good when you get to go against your boys.
Catch and release, Williams off the mark. Offensive rebound goes to Nate Heisey.
And you like that attempt from the freshman, right? But one thing you don't want a guy that's young to do, that doesn't play a lot, is overthink the game, right? Come out, play free, don't worry about making mistakes, just be yourself.
Another backdoor cut leaves Lipsey open for 3. He's short, and the offensive rebound. Now they look for a dagger 3. And instead they try to force it inside, and a turnover from Iowa State. Williams in transition. UCF has played the top teams really well this year. They lost by just 1 to Houston, by just 4 to Kansas. Now they trail their lead against Iowa State. After Iowa State hits that, Iowa State's up 4, but a chance to be close against a close team. They're knocking on the door.
No question. It's really been the defensive end that has caused the Knights trouble, but you hit it on the head. A win in their conference opener at Texas Tech, as well as a win in their season opener against Texas A&M, really was what propelled the Knights to looking like an NCAA tournament team. But it's been the defensive end of the basketball that has really caused them trouble as of late.
Jones, you can't leave him alone. Too strong. Offensive rebound again. Clones dominating the offensive glass in the early going, but not much to show for it.
Yeah, doing a great job, both Chatfield and Jefferson, wedging themselves in for offensive rebounds, but just not able to convert.
And here's Jefferson, the steal and layup. And Johnny Dawkins saw way too much of that the first time these teams met.
Exactly. Points off turnovers. Sometimes the offense just makes careless passes. Josh Jefferson, that's just a little bit too easy. Really a college basketball score, Rich. I know we're trying to spread the game out, allow more freedom of movement, but you know, when I saw that score, I thought it was Celtics-Knicks, man. That's a little too many points for a college basketball game.
It was the most points Iowa State has scored under T.J. Otzelberger, and it was the first time a UCF coach team by Johnny Dawkins had given up a C-note. Here's Juice. And he can't get loose in the early going. 15-9 Iowa State, 12.5 to go in the first half.
You see, each and every time down, Iowa State is going to get into that ball screen motion until they find a mismatch they like. Right here is Jefferson against Johnson.
And one of the best steal men in the game, Darius Johnson, gets his first. Debo Coleman can't cash it in. And here comes Lipsey looking for some teammates. No one there, so he gives it back to Jones for 3. And he cashes in.
so heady, so calm as Tamin Lipsey. Right there, draws the defense in transition and finds the Cyclones' best scorer for the easy triple. These guys play with tremendous chemistry, don't they, Rich?
They do.
I mean, they have continuity. They know where each other is going to be.
And Williams slips. They're going to get a foul on Jones.
The Iowa State Cyclones back fully healthy and showing why they are still one of the premier teams in college basketball right here. Curtis Jones from deep. This is the only for sure one I would say outside of West Virginia that they have left.
It's still early February, but it's late enough that B.J. Taylor's calling this a must-win. Here's Johnson, high arcing three off the mark. Offensive rebound by Coleman. Johnson will try again, and cashes in this time.
And really the tone-setter for the Knights is Darius Johnson. You know Keyshawn Hall has been their most productive player, but he's really the heart and soul of this group. When he's aggressive, he's the one that can really spark this team to get them going, both offensively and defensively.
Starting five on the floor for TJ Otzelberger. Three on the shot clock. Gilbert off the window, no. And a foul. UCF basketball.
Yeah. Nice trap by UCF down there on the low block, but once Lipsey swung the ball around to Momcilovic, thought he had a look himself. Sometimes you pass the ball too much, Rich. You know, sometimes you're working for that great look. You want to get that great shot, which Iowa State does it as good as anybody. But sometimes you just got to take the good one.
Otzelberger is done not only as a coach, but as a recruiter and a roster. Bring blue blood or blue chip type players, but players who fit what he wants to do perfectly. Josh Jefferson is a perfect example. Deshaun Jackson as well.
Yeah, he brings in culture guys that fit his system. They play with pride. They play with the ownership. Iowa State, which is something rare you get in today's NIL era when the landscape of transfer portal going here and there. These guys play with pride for Iowa State.
Momcilovic off the mark from three. And the freshman, Zhao, has the rebound. And UCF gives it right back.
And you know, as important as anything, Rich, he's able to retain these guys, right? It's not just, it's one thing to get guys into your program in this era. He's able to keep them around.
And this transfer portal here to BJ, every player is on a one-year contract. Player's a free agent.
Exactly. So in the offseason for Tamin Lipsey to come back, for Keshon Gilbert, Curtis Jones come back and expands his role this season as one of the best scorers in the Big 12, and obviously Milan Momcilovic, as well as front court guys. You just don't see this often. I mean, TJ Otzelberger does as good a job as anyone of developing and retaining his talent.
So now the big man, Deshaun Jackson, the aforementioned transfer from Charlotte, at the line shooting. And he misses the first.
Now they do have competition in this league. Houston does it as well as anyone as well. You know, only add one guy really that's a contributor out of the transfer portal. Milos Uzan from Oklahoma. Kelvin Sampson does a terrific job of getting them to buy into the Houston culture. And that's why both those teams consistently over the past two seasons have been at the top of this league.
Jackson 0 for 2 from the stripe. It's a 6-point Iowa State lead halfway through the first half. Johnson, nice pass, and his first two.
Just a great slice cut right there from Tyler Hendricks. Whenever a guard drives that baseline, you don't see it enough. You slice cut to the rim, it's open. You see NBA guys do that a lot.
Took that out of the B.J. Taylor playbook.
Something like that, you know. I don't know if I dunked it at the end, but we get a layup out of it.
6 on the shot clock. Heisey off the mark from 3. Iowa State started off hot beyond the arc. They've missed their last few. Johnson dancing at the top of the key and knocks it down. 8 times this year, Darius Johnson's hit threes. He's got 2 tonight already.
Yeah, a very much so improved three-point shooter this season. Only shot about 28% for his career this season. He's up in the 40s.
Jones uses as a protector. And Already 8 points for Jiggy, as they call him, Curtis Jones. Here's Chong. He's 0 for 2 from beyond the arc. Maybe Johnny wants him to get a little closer to the basket next time down.
No question. Not a bad look on the pick and pop. Still a little early in the clock, but you don't want the big fella to get too comfortable outside. It's like your puppy, let him play outside, but eventually they got to come back in, right?
10 on the timer for the Clones. Jones, a little bit of a heat check off the mark. Here comes Johnson up the left side.
He's feeling it. He wants to get one off.
Almost did. Instead, gave it up to Hall.
Iowa State's just in all the gaps defensively.
The extra pass. Now it's the left-hander, Hall. No good from the corner. And Iowa State's got numbers, 3-on-2. Momcilovic can't get the left-handed layup to go. Hall, like a bull to the basket.
Hall is in transition. That's when he is at his best, exploding to the rim.
First player on the floor. First player on the floor tonight before the game start. The hardest worker is your best worker. Things are going well for you at UCF.
Darius Johnson's the guy who's even to be more aggressive, not only in this game, but as the rest of the season goes on. And now the Knights showing a little 2-3 zone, something they like to do out of timeouts.
Why do they do that?
They want to take away whatever TJ Otzelberger just drew up. One of the best coming out of timeout play callers in college basketball. You want to make what he called a moot point.
Well, that's what they're looking for. Try to force threes. Curtis Jones shoots one and misses it.
Because you have a man-to-man set called up, right? It's Keyshawn Hall. But TJ Otzelberger draws up a man-to-man set coming out of the timeout. You're playing it, executed, right? You're all excited, all juiced up. And then you see a 2-3 zone, and you're like, well, coach, what do we do now? Do we still run the play?
Iowa State has led for all but 35 seconds, and yet we have a look in this one.
UCF fought back on the boards. Early on in this one, they were losing the rebounding battle, 11-3 on the glass. They fought their way back on the glass.
And now it's 12-11 in favor of the Cyclones. That one, it'll be UCF basketball a chance.
They're better than any team forcing turnovers and turning those into points on the other end. They also do a great job of taking care of the rock themselves. So if you force turnovers like Arizona did, like other teams have done in some of their losses, they're a little bit worse. And then lastly, Rich, you gotta battle them on the boards. These guys do an excellent job of defensive rebounding and offensive rebounding.
10 on the shot clock. Pull up by Juice, and he's got tonight. First UCF lead, bucket of the game.
The UTSA transfer, really nice jump shooter. Saw right there, gets to a mid-range spot. Not gonna go all the way to the rim. He's probably gonna stop and pop more times than not.
Iowa State on the struggle bus offensively. 0 for their last 4 and 1 for their last 8. Tough 2 by Keyshawn.
And we know Keshon Gilbert, one of the best finishers, not only in the Big 12, but in all of college basketball, so creative. Honestly, they didn't see a mismatch where Joshua Jefferson was being defended by the smaller Dior Johnson. Would have got an easier opportunity.
Oh, he might have gotten away with an elbow. Johnson is in the foul.
Can't call one of those soft fouls against Iowa State, can you, Rich? When you're out here with the Cyclones, man, it's big boy basketball. It's time to put on your grown man pants.
Balanced scoring from both teams. 7 different nights in the scoring column. 6 Cyclones have scored already. 1-point lead and the ball under 5 minutes to go in the first half for UCF. Here's Williams for 3. Mikey Williams, have yourself a first half.
Mikey Williams, Dior Johnson, 2 of their transfers have been a spark for the Knights as of late.
He had 8 the last time out against Baylor, has 7 already in the first half. Jefferson.
Great pass.
Big to big, and almost a chance at a 3-point play. Instead, bring the line and shoot 2.
and something the Knights have struggled with throughout the season. They have not got a lot of bench production, but over these last 2 games, both Dior Johnson and Mikey Williams have done that. You see right there, a little shrug off for the mid-range. And this time he sets up his partner, Keshon Gilbert, just not ready to play the corner. Mikey Williams makes him pay.
So the big man at the line, a 67% free throw shooter, and he cans the first.
And kind of get the feel, Rich, that Cyclones came out to such a strong start there, took that early lead. I think it kind of felt like UCF might just lay down and, let this game get out of hand. The Knights fought back, and now it's almost as if Iowa State has to back up and go and playing the way that they did early in the first 5 minutes.
Iowa State, one of the best, most efficient offenses in all of the country. UCF, quite confusingly, the last Big 12 team in terms of points allowed. That is not a Johnny Dawkins staple. Usually, he hangs his hat on defense.
Not the identity of a typical Johnny Dawkins team. I can tell you, speaking with Coach Dawkins, it wasn't strategic.
With a nice looking too close to the basket, and Johnny Dawkins' team tied at 25. Let's take a look at number 2, Josh Jefferson, the 5-time Big 12 newcomer of the week.
When you let Joshua Jefferson get this ball around the rim, he's gonna make good things happen. Best in college basketball for really 10 of the past 12 seasons, and this year the SEC's taken over, and we see how those fans are with football. So when they finally get something, they just take over and run with it. They're gonna make it known that they are the best college basketball right now.
Rich Hollenberg, BJ Taylor inside Addition Financial Arena, where the UCF Knights are looking for what could be win of the year, taking on number 10 Iowa State. We're tied at 25, 3:40 to go in the first half. Johnson cuts his way through the cycle for another 2. DJ has 8. Now Jones, transition 3, maybe rushed it. Loose ball, who wants it? Heisey's got it.
Nate Heisey just makes winning plays, doesn't he? I mean, this guy, he knows what he's out there for. Offensive rebounds, steals. He's the kind of teammate you like to play with, man, honestly.
Gilbert for 3. Yes, sir! Was from Provisions in Ames.
And see what is those opportunities are only created because of a guy like Nate Heisey. That's why Curtis Jones and Keshon Gilbert can shoot freely, right? Sometimes it might be a bad shot. It's because some of the other guys on the floor will get those old boards and create extra opportunities.
Johnson, that high arcing 3, no. Gilbert, he just made a 3 and grabs the rebound. They go inside. Jefferson, inside out. Ball is singing now for the Clones. Look at that shovel pass. Heisey back out to Jones. 2 feet in the paint and the float game. Curtis Jones, first player in double digits. And TJ to like what he sees.
When that ball comes out of the trap, they swing. If you notice, they don't look at the rim and see if they have a look themselves. They get that ball reversed to the other side of the court. That puts a lot of pressure on opposing defenses.
And another turnover forced by the Iowa State defense. The tap from Jones to Lipsey. Teamwork makes the dream work. And now a stoppage of play, 1:58 to go. Beautiful basketball.
And see, swing, catch the defense in a closeout. Once again, Nate Heisey doesn't have what he wants. Sets up Curtis Jones for the easy little pull-up. That is Iowa State TJ Otzelberger basketball.
Passing up a good shot for a better shot.
100%.
TJ Otzelberger, the best winning percentage and the best conference winning percentage in Iowa State history. And that is a list that includes luminaries like John and Fred Hoiberg, but
yes.
TJ Otzelberger right now, better winning percentage than all of them in Ames.
And after the Fred Hoiberg era, there was a lot of conversation on would somebody be able to come in and replace the success he had. And TJ Otzelberger has absolutely done that.
Jones. And an called on Curtis Jones. That's his second.
Extremely difficult to deal with Iowa State in transition. But Mikey Williams, the freshman, gets over, gets set. It's close, but he was there. More so than anything, I tell you what his teammates like and what his coaching staff likes. A freshman willing to sacrifice his body out there in the open court.
Give it up, young fella. Draws the charge. Hustle points for Mike. And it's UCF basketball down 5. Now 90 seconds to go in the first half.
It's a matchup he has to exploit right here against Nate Heisey.
Not able to take advantage there. Juice can't get it to go off the window. Got his own miss. And Jefferson takes it away.
And see, that's what Johnson has to be a little more selfish and look to find his own offense. I know he wants to set his team. When you have a matchup like that, now don't get me wrong, Nate Heisey competes on the defensive end. He does. But Darius Johnson had it going early on. You'd like to see him explore that matchup a little more.
Both teams with 3 timeouts remaining. Interested to see if one of these coaches takes a use it or lose it here in the final. Here's Momcilovic. Mid-range. Tantalizingly close. Another offensive board. Josh Jefferson. 9 double-doubles on the year. He's working on another one tonight.
If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would bet he gets there.
Stolen away by Debo Coleman. It goes out of bounds. Whose ball is it? It's Cyclones basketball. And that cost him 7 games in conference play. But a career 39% three-point shooter. Here he is from 3. Short that time. Chom the rebound. 9-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. What do you think UCF's going to want to do this time?
Well, the number one thing is 9-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Take a shot as low in the shot clock as you can, but whatever they're going to do, they're sending a trap to get the ball out of Johnson's hands.
Keyshawn Hall's been quiet most of this first half, just 5 points. Johnson can't get it to go. Another super close layup that's missed, but right on cue.
And what you have to watch for with this is once Keyshawn Hall receives the rebound, watch him throw his body into the chest of Joshua Jefferson. That forces the hands to come down. When you catapult yourself into another player's body like that in the center of the chest, there's nothing you can do but have your hands come down. That allows Keyshawn Hall to get the and one.
So far, this game has been played fairly cleanly as far as the officials see. Only 3 fouls for UCF, 6th team foul by Iowa State. Keyshawn Hall finishes the 3-point play. He has 8. Darius Johnson has 8. Mikey Williams has 7. And the Knights are just down 2 to the number 10 team in the country. Last shot time for the Clones. Here's Jones at the buzzer. No good. And has some momentum going into the locker room. In the scoring column, so does the ledger as well. A win, and Iowa State has their 5th road win of the year and their 7th quad 1 victory. For UCF, if they win, it's a program record tying 4th quad 1 win and their 4th top 10 win in program history. Here's Momcilovic. Lipsey for 3, around and out. And another reback for Josh Jefferson.
Yep. Really nice initial action right there for the Tamin Lipsey shake-up 3. And an even better effort for Joshua Jefferson right here. See off the ball screen. You're going to see a switch. They could have gone directly inside to him if they noticed it. But what do when you don't get fed by your teammates? You go and feed yourself. It's exactly what Josh taking advantage of that mismatch down low.
First foul on Darius Johnson. Jefferson, he now has 9.
And the Knights switch 1 through 4 like that. Joshua Jefferson should feast on the offensive end because there's nothing Darius Johnson can do with him down low on the block.
Here's Keyshawn Hall, top scorer in the Big 12 in conference play. He had 8 in the first half. Here he is working on Jefferson. Double teamed in the post. That is a specialty of the Cyclones D. And Mustafa Cham held to just 2 points and no field goals in the first half. Now it's Jefferson dishing. Jackson will go to the line and shoot two. Well, Josh Jefferson had 30 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals the last time these two teams met. The number's not quite so bodacious this time out, but he's still stuffing the stat sheet.
No question, and impact can't always be tallied by the numbers, right? A lot of times, matchup to one of their worst games of the season, but that doesn't necessarily show up in the stat sheet on your stats, but that doesn't mean you had a bad game. This is a guy that does whatever it takes each and every game for Iowa State to be successful. He knows every night he's the leading scorer. Usually it's Curtis Jones or Keshon Gilbert. He gets in where he fits in, double figures, between 10 to 15, rebounds, right? You need guys like that, kind of that third option, that Kevin Love, you know, to Kyrie and LeBron, that Chris Bosh to LeBron and D-Wade. You need that third guy that's still impactful.
And there's Jefferson. That'll be his second. We're talking about it like he's having an off night. He's got 9 points and 5 rebounds already.
Exactly. And that's, again, that's a standard that he's set, though, right? Being a guy that's 15 and 8, so consistent. We haven't seen them run anything for him all night. He gets his off the strength of his own ability on the floor.
Cham with the screen. And Johnson misses from 3. UCF just 3 for 14 from 3-point range so far. There's Keshon Gilbert.
And I'd like to see them get into a 1-4 pick and roll. That was a 1-5. Go 1-4, you get that switch.
Momcilovic, catch and release, in and out. How many times have we seen that tonight? Blocked by Cham. It's his specialty. He's 12th in the nation in blocks per game.
One for a freshman. The big fella plays a ton of minutes. All right, there's not a lot of freshman centers in the country playing more than Mustafa Cham. And with that 7'5" wingspan, he does a great job of getting himself in position to contest shots at the rim.
And now he's got a rebound, so only 2 points for Mustafa Cham, but the 18-year-old chipping in other ways.
Yeah. I mean, to be a freshman at 18 years old, drawing Big 12 centers all year long, I mean, you can't really give the guy enough kudos for the way he stood up and manned the front court for the Knights.
Hall forced it, no, couldn't get the rebound to go. There's Debo, way off the mark. Josh Jefferson comes up a little bit gimpy with that left knee. Something to keep an eye on, number 2 in Cardinal red. Deshaun Jackson. A 6-0 start to second half, and Johnny Dawkins calls a timeout. Defense has sparked this for Iowa State. Great job right here, Keshon Gilbert finds the big fella. Iowa State looking to pull away. Twinkle toes.
Trains. Trains that use the power of Dell AI and Intel, clearing the way so you arrive exactly where you belong.
Your record label is taking off, but so is your sound engineer. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
All right, everybody. I know it's easy to forget things, but we don't want you to miss this new deal from US Cellular. Get the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus on us and stay a step ahead with Galaxy AI.
Ooh, I can save enough to buy a gift for my understanding wife.
Sorry, I'm late. Ooh, that's a great deal. I have a facial. This was fun.
Oh, come on. You have flowers?
Get the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus with Galaxy AI on us. US Cellular, built for us.
Listen, we are too grown to let diabetes boss us around. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor sends your numbers straight to your phone. With the proper steps, you can do diabetes your way. And over time, you can bring down your A1C. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor helps you live life with diabetes on your terms. This is progress.
Try it for free at freestylelibre.us.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check first that you bought seats in the right section. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Number 10, Iowa State's lead is 8. B.J. Taylor, you were a bucket getter in your playing days. Now let's see who your top 3 bucket getters are this season in the Big 12.
Well, at number 3, we have to start with Caleb Love. The UNC transfer has continued to show why he's so explosive. A lot to the detriment and the sadness of Iowa State fans. They remember that 55-footer. Nobody can keep their team in games like Caleb Love. At the number 2 spot, Curtis Jones, the best 6th man in the Big 12. This guy, we mentioned it, automatic, instant microwave. He will heat up quick like Hot Pockets. And then Javon Small. Man, this guy is absolutely electric. Not only does he create offense for himself, he creates offense for his teammates. I don't say this lightly, but he is the best point guard in the Big 12 currently.
All 3 of those dudes will be vying for first team all Big 12 honors when the regular season is done. And we're seeing what Curtis Jones can do. All scorers with 10. He had 24 in the last game for the Cyclones. Here's another bucket getter. B.J. Taylor left him off the list. He's saying, hey, what about me?
Yeah, he took being left off the list a little personal. I do not blame Keyshawn Hall for that. Shows right here why he would have been an honorable mention, on my top 3. Just gets back to that spin move on Milan Momcilovic. Contact. Now, in my defense, all 3 of my top 3 are firmly headed to the NCAA tournament. As we know, to the victor go the spoils. I reward winners. Keyshawn Hall, you want to make the top 3, propel your Knights to the NCAA tournament.
All right. The gauntlet has been thrown down to number 4 in white, Keyshawn Hall. He leads all scorers now with 11. Gilbert. Oh, the right hand shot for Keshon Gilbert. The former UNL trading baskets.
He does an incredible job of using the backboard to finish shots. I mean, I don't want to get into exaggeration, but it's Kyrie Irving-esque sometimes the way he makes shots off the glass. I'm serious, Rich. I mean, he makes awkward shots look easy.
And he does it on the defensive end as well. Here's the steal from the Cyclones, looking to turn defense into offense. Gilbert had a mismatch, put Cham on skates. Momcilovic doubled. Someone's open. Curtis Jones gets it in the paint, looking for an open man. Bounce pass, Chatfield.
Just a great offensive possession for the State. When you can get 2 or 3 ball reversals against the Knights, they've shown throughout the season their defense will break down because it will spread out.
That ball knocked out of bounds. 15-28. Iowa State has extended their lead to 9. The former teammates from UNLV doing it on offensive ends on both ends of the floor.
Well, I tell you what, both these guys produce more buckets than a house with holes in it when it's raining. These guys know how to score. Curtis Jones in the paint says, you know what, I don't have one for myself. I'll be patient. I'll find my boy underneath the rim. Iowa State up 9.
Our customers have always been our priority.
Our customers are our family, and we want to make sure they know that we'll do everything in our power to lower prices, to be the place that they want to shop.
You're going to see the savings all over the store. We did a deep dive and we took advantage of every lower price, lower costs we could to make it better for our customers.
There's absolutely no reason to shop anywhere but Hy-Vee.
Cyclone fans know it's worth the hype. Unleaded 88 is cheaper, cleaner and greener than regular unleaded. Plus, it's renewable and grown by farmers, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
They say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Maybe that's why scientists are trying to recreate real meat. But why tamper with what Mother Nature has already perfected? A high-quality protein, Iowa-raised meat is the original health food, with 9 essential amino acids necessary for the human diet, sustainably raised by Iowa farm families. But hey, keep at it. It's flattering that so many products want to be us.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
There's a spirit of innovation radiating from the Iowa State campus. You can feel it flowing through every building and in the hearts and minds of every person who studies and works here. It inspires a culture of creativity and collaboration unlike any other university, which is just one reason Iowa State was honored as the Entrepreneurial University of the Year for the Americas. At Iowa State, the spirit of innovation is in everyone, guiding us to create a brighter future for all.
Well, if UCF's going to come back and win this game, they're going to need that dude, number 3, Darius Johnson. But right now, he needs a cut man.
No question. You're going to need you're going to need somebody in the corner that's used to dealing with boxers, man. You see right there as he swings the ball out of the trap. Hits on the forehead.
And here's the foul on that.
Yeah.
They usually say no blood, no foul. There was blood, but still no foul called. Welcome to the Big 12.
Welcome to the Big 12.
Here's another look.
Yeah. Good job dealing with the trap right here. Just a clean one by Nate Heisey and Chatfield. You see the arm just comes down.
Caught a stray elbow from Chatfield.
Yep.
So Darius Johnson gets tended to, and Johnny Dawkins and the Knights have to regroup. Down 9, it's their largest deficit of the night.
And the thing to watch for is the Knights don't really have a backup point guard. I mean, Darius Johnson, this guy who's played 90 games in his college basketball career, he has never missed extended period of time for Coach Dawkins' teams.
It's been a quiet night so far for Juice Ivy Curry. He misses that 3, only 2 points for the left hand. Here's Jones. Off the mark, the rebound of Mikey Williams. In transition. Now Williams at the other end. Yes, sir! Mikey Williams has 10.
It's come to play. Plain and simple. The kid has come to play extremely confident. He's not overthinking it. He's just being a basketball player.
Lipsey's got a mismatch with Chom guarding him.
Set of mismatches inside. You got Joshua Jefferson being defended by Williams. Good pass.
Heisey, 3 from the wing. He works tirelessly on his 3-point shooting. 2 of them tonight.
And that's why you always exploit a mismatch. It's not because the mismatch player needs to score. He attracts so much attention. Usually teams have to send a double or send some sort of stunt. You get an open shot for a teammate a lot of times.
Weak side rebound to the smallest player on the floor, Tamin Lipsey. And Jefferson up while he tried to catch that, lost the handle, turned it over.
You see right here, once Joshua Jefferson receives this basketball, this is the way you attack the mismatch, right? Got Mikey Williams on you, kick out, and if you're Jordan Ivy Curry, you just need a little more of a sense of urgency right there, right? You know, Nate Heisey putting the ball on the floor and attacking you off the bounce, a spot-up shooter. Ivy Curry's got to sprint out there and get him off the line.
Weak side rebound, another one-and-done possession for the Knights.
With a freshman, a score, you got to take the good with the bad, Rich. I mean, you know, partner, he's going to take some bad shots, but he's got to continue to remain aggressive.
Inside out go the Clones. They can't make the 3-point play, and here comes Keyshawn Hall for 2.
Iowa State can get the basketball back down the floor so quickly. I mean, that ball was across half court with 4 seconds into the shot clock.
And Deshaun Jackson down low. He has 5. The lead is back to 9 for the 10th-ranked Iowa State Cyclones.
Why does that matter? Because the defense can never rest. You always have to be on alert, even on a made shot.
Chom tried to follow the miss, and a foul called on the floor stops play with 12:46 to go. Good to see Darius set to check back in. 8 points in the first half for the rare 4-year player with one school, Darius Johnson. We don't get to say that or see that very often.
His father is the player development director for the Knights, a longtime friend of Johnny Dawkins, going back to their childhood days. See there, Kelvin Johnson. There really wasn't a different option for Darius Johnson coming out of high school. His older brother decided to attend Southern Illinois, where he had a very successful career, but Darius Johnson was always aligned with coming to play for Johnny Dawkins.
And what do they all have in common? They're all 1,000 of their collegiate careers. Darius and his brother as well.
Yes.
For Keyshawn Hall, he's got 14.
So you're saying the family gets buckets.
It's in the DNA, BJ. Dribble handoff. Here's Gilbert. Little two-man game. And Jackson.
See, if you're not over on that split line, which is basically from the middle down to the rim, Iowa State's going to exploit that all night. If you're on the weak side for the Knights right here, you see the Knights, all weak side has got to rotate over, because once a Deshaun Jackson or Joshua Jefferson gets that ball in the middle of the paint, right above that Big 12 area, it's game over. They either have a shot at the rim or they have a kick out for easy triples.
And now we're going to see the UCF student section for the first time affecting the visiting team's free throws.
Fear the Franz?
It's the most Florida free throw distraction you can find. Jackson goes 1 for 2.
I always found Palm Franz to be relaxing, you know? A little beverage by the pool, by the, out on the water, South Florida.
A little bit of a different environment.
Yeah, these Franz are more distracting.
Oh, and Dior Johnson might have got off there. The foul's going to go on Iowa State and Keshon Gilbert. Johnny Dawkins 103 and 39 in this building. But they've struggled this year. Haven't had quite what they anticipated coming off last year's building block year in their first year in the Big 12.
Some quality wins. Start the season. If Darius Johnson can't convert.
And look at this. Up ahead, the leak out. Gilbert an easy 2.
Too easy right there. The point guard goes to Dior Johnson's got to be the player to rotate back. The Knights had their moments, right? A win over Texas A&M early in the season, and a conference opener win at Texas Tech. They've had some quality wins. They just have not been able to string together consistency and really pick up wins against some of the better opponents in this league, right? About 0-5 between Kansas and now looking at Iowa State.
Gilbert lost the handle. It'll stay Iowa State basketball when we return.
As a scorer, there's nothing that's ever too easy. And Keshon Gilbert can make the tough ones, but you'll always take an easy one when you can get it. Iowa State having fun in Orlando.
All right, trainees, let's say Glenn is a customer. What do? We help with car, home, boat, RV coverage. Great, apply coverages. Because you never know what life is going to surprise you with at 90 miles per hour. I felt that.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
Devotion for Man by Dolce & Gabbana.
You mastered your mind. And all the while, you were on the train home. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
Bread and wine by the
For all those making it big out there, shouldn't your mobile service be able to keep up with you? Get Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig at home and on the go. Introducing Power Boost, only from Xfinity Mobile. Now that's big. Xfinity Internet customers, cut your mobile bill in half versus T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T for your first year. Plus, ask how to get the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus on us.
As a kid, I fell in love with basketball. But early in my career, my world began to close in. It was my first migraine, and it hit hard. I had to dig deep and remember, you don't face challenges alone. By seeking help, I stopped migraine from stopping me. Because true support is knowing someone's got your back. Talk to a doctor about migraine today at PfizerForAll.com.
Now for something you can both agree on. A Sleep Number smart bed is perfect for couples. The Climate 360 smart bed is the only bed that cools and warms on each side. And all our smart beds adjust the firmness for each of you. Let's agree to agree on better sleep. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery and 0% interest for 48 months. Shop now.
Black History always on ESPN. We shine a light on UCF's own Richard Lapchick. He's been here for 24 years, but he spent his entire professional lifetime fighting for equality. He's a professor emeritus at the Institute for Sport and Social Justice. He's been called the racial conscience of sports. And in 2021, he won the Muhammad Ali Humanitarian Year Award. And BJ, you know him well.
Yeah, as someone I've been honored to build a relationship throughout my time here in Orlando. Just a tremendous individual, somebody who's always putting others first, and honestly, you can't put into words his impact that he's had.
Back inside Edition Financial Arena. Number 10, Iowa State doubling up the UCF Knights in the second half, 18-9 to build their largest lead of the night, 11. Most of the damage happening inside the painted area. Clones have a 26-14 edge. 3 on the shot clock. Lipsey, no good.
Tamin Lipsey, a guy who had to pick up a little bit of scoring slack when Momcilovic was out, going back into more of just his defensive, I call it his Patrick Beverly role for Iowa State.
Heisey on the floor, and roll B. UCF basketball, 13 on the shot clock.
The Iowa State defense has been absolutely suffocating here. Just a really nice rotation by Nate Heisey, good hands. Almost comes up with a loose ball, but you'll take it defensively. Put together this second half is the Iowa State standard defensively, only 23% for the field for the Knights.
That is a bucket from bucket. Now 16 for Hall.
Lefty love every time.
He had 13 in Ames when these two teams met, had 19 and 8 in their last game against Baylor. Lipsey will try again, and this time he 5 points for Tamin Lipsey, a dozen for the Clones. And here's a turnover by UCF. 3-on-1, Heisey finishes.
Quickest hands in the ball, Tamin Lipsey. The guy takes the ball away. If he played football, he would be known for the peanut punch.
Tamin Lipsey, second all-time in steals at Iowa State. Came in with 216, trailing the great Monte Morris, who has 225 steals.
There's an art to taking away the basketball. Look at the way he times the poke away from Darius Johnson, which leads to what Iowa State does best. Defense to offense, always great. And then right here, you attack a zone by driving. You don't just settle on the perimeter. You get into those gaps. You create opportunities to get three-pointers or shots at the rim. Tamin Lipsey continuing to be the staple, the consistent force for the Ames, Iowa faithful.
A 3-year starter for T.J. Otzelberger, part of the final 15 candidates for National Defensive Player of the Year. Has 2 steals tonight, so he's now 218 in his illustrious career, trailing the great Monte Morris by just 7.
Winning player. That's how I would describe Tamin Lipsey. What he will do. As we mentioned, when Momcilovic was out with injury, he was more aggressive to score. As Keyshawn Hall uses the right on that one instead of the left. Momcilovic was out. Tamin Lipsey stepped up and scored more. We saw him in Arizona put up big numbers there in the first half of that game. But when they're fully healthy, he will go back to playing his role of being that solid force, that steady point guard.
Heisey gives it up to Jefferson. Now Heisey from the corner. No good, weak side rebound to Debo Coleman.
Lipsey, surprisingly, a really good offensive rebounder. He gets about 1 board a game just sneaking in there.
There's Chatfield. And now Gilbert. Lipsey for 3 again. Not this time. Offensive rebound and the putback. All the dirty work.
Brandon Chatfield just making room, isn't he? Just clearing out space. The 6'10" center from Orofino, Idaho. You know what they say. You want to put on some weight, you eat steak and potatoes. Chatfield's not missing out on any Idaho potatoes down there to base.
And his 130th career game played. Another perfect fit. J. Otzelberger in the transfer portal. And that one, are they going to wave it off? They are. So the lead is 12, Iowa State with the basketball. Now time becoming a valuable component for the Cyclones. 8:40 to go.
Methodical pace for Iowa State, no need to rush. Primary thing is take care of the basketball. And for UCF, going to have to look to push this tempo and get it up and down.
5 on the shot clock. Lipsey recognizes it, takes it to the 10 line, and shoot 2. There's not much that's going to keep Tamin Lipsey on the floor when it comes to winning time. You see that tape on that right thumb. He basically has a broken thumb that he's been playing with all season.
Yeah, well, toughness is no problem for this Iowa State group. We know this backcourt fights through anything. We talked to Coach Otzelberger earlier today, like, hey, man, how do you change the practices with the injuries and this time of year? And he said, look, on regular practice, we're going 90 minutes strong, and then day or 2 before games, we're only hitting 60 minutes, just 1 hour all out, right? Because you got to keep these guys healthy as you see the hand of Lipsey right there wrapped up.
And pregame, you see that he's all about his teammates.
No question.
Curtis Jones, Keshon Gilbert featured on that t-shirt. Tamin Lipsey is all about the team, the team, the team. One of 15 Iowa State Cyclones in history to grow up in Iowa, in Ames, and play for Ames High School. Good effort, Chom, and he'll go to the line and shoot a pair.
So you're telling me that it's likely that Tamin Lipsey goes into the Ames Iowa Sports Hall of Fame?
I would say that's a likely scenario for number 3 in red. And you know a little something about playing for your school, growing up in this area.
It means that much more to you. You know, the community, the fan base, you already have a built-in sense of ownership to your school and your community when you play where you're from.
From little clones to the big clones. And wouldn't you know it, Tamin Lipsey is one of only a couple of Iowa State Cyclones to have a triple-double in Iowa State.
Yeah.
He had a triple-double in the state championship playing for Ames High School as well. His parents both work at the university. They're at the game. Great support system.
No question.
Back in Ames.
Got to keep that hand healthy moving forward. That's the biggest thing. It's the biggest component for an Iowa State run in March. This group has to stay healthy.
We've got Momcilovic back. He's on the bench right. Valuable component, and now Hall's going to be called for the foul, and some frustration starting to boil over for Keyshawn Hall and the UCF Knights.
Of weapons they can go to. Curtis Jones, one of the most explosive players in college basketball. Jefferson inside with his physicality. We know what Keshon Gilbert brings to the table. This is a group that in full object Final Four. Number one, they have to stay healthy. And number two, they have to make sure they don't get a game that gets too up and down, too much scoring. They've got to control the game and really have it right where it is right now. They want to win games 75 to 60, right? 80 to 65. They don't need to be up in those 80s and 90s like a Alabama, like a Kentucky, none of those groups.
5 on the shot clock. Gilbert. He's got to go. Instead, he turned it over. Here's his former teammate, Hall, at the other end, and he almost turns it over. Now Darius Johnson for 3. Much for the Knights.
And that's what the Knights are going to need. They're going to need some more triples to fall here if they're going to make a push back into this game in the final 7 minutes.
9th time this year, Darius Johnson has 3 or more three-pointers.
Good pass.
Gilbert, an easy.
Again, communication defensive for the Knights, just a little back screen right there. Great find underneath the rim. But that's just communication and engagement. I mean, on the first side, that should not happen.
Here's Williams. Gives it up to Hall in the corner. And there's Mustafa Chah, goal of the night. Double digits in each of his last 5, but the freshman held to just 4 against that ferocious Cyclones D tonight. Jackson, right down University.
Once again, it's a side ball screen, a little angle ball screen, allows Deshaun Jackson to get the paint and make a play. The Knights have got to be over on that line and not allow him to get to the paint.
5 different Cyclones have 8 or more points. 7 Cyclones have 7 or more tonight. It's been a balanced scoring effort for the number 10 team in the country, up by a baker's dozen now. Trying to add to that, off to the right from Lipsey.
See, look how Iowa State gets over when the ball is on one side of the floor. You see Tamin Lipsey's over there right underneath the rim. That's what we call getting to the middle of the split line.
John kept it alive. In the corner for 3, off the mark for Hendricks. And now time is on the side for the Cyclones. Up 13, counting down to 5 minutes to go. For their 5th road win of the year and their 7th quad 1 victory. Jackson gets it out to Jefferson. He's shown the ability to shoot the 3, not that time. And Jefferson commits the foul, his 3rd.
Iowa State does such a good job. You see, when he gets the ball right here in the middle of the floor, Mikey Williams needs to take him. If he doesn't, Keyshawn Hall definitely needs to come over and completely square his body up to the basketball. You can't have 2 guys over in a position to make a play on a big guy coming right down Broadway and both guys move out of the way. All right? It's a great job of Deshaun Jackson of reading the action, saying, look, if you're not getting my way, I'm going to the rim. But defensively, got to be engaged and make him a play for a teammate in that situation. But nobody does a better job than Iowa State and T.J. Otzelberger of putting defense in compromising positions. But look, that's a big fella coming at you. You got to be willing to put your body on the line.
First time this night, BJ, that we're saying a team is going to the line in the bonus. But Keyshawn Hall couldn't hit the front end of the 1-and-1. There's Chatfield with a follow. Body 4:35 to go. Brant Chatfield has matched his season high with 9 points tonight.
All off the hardened hustle. Keshon Gilbert usually finishes plays like these, but it always works out when your big brother's got your back.
Grant Chatfield doing his best Josh Jefferson impersonation. He's got 9 points and 4 rebounds tonight. And there's Conrad Hawley, the CEO, the Chief Energy. You talk about culture.
Yeah.
Big time culture in Ames, Iowa.
1 through 15, completely bought in to winning.
There's Mikey Williams. Does it.
The young guy has played well tonight. He is going to get more minutes moving forward for UCF.
Jones, step back, 3. Not this time. Weak side rebound to Hall.
And once again, a little too quick right there. But a young guy, take the good with the bad. Those are all teaching moments for him. You show him good shots, you show him bad shots. You hope that sooner than later he finds a happy medium.
Here's Jones. Now he's got a mismatch. John retreats, 5 on the shot clock. Now 2 to shoot. Heisey, did he get it off? No, he didn't. Shot clock. Maybe that defense spurs on Johnny Dawkins' crew.
Without a doubt. You see right here, the Knights down 13. Can they push to get back into it?
Iowa State, and they say, oh, they're so good this year.
Yes.
Defensively, offensively, they're balanced. But if there's one name they've heard of, it's Curtis Jones. 9 times he's gone over the 20-point mark. Tonight, it's been an all-around floor game for Jones. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
He's shown his ability to play, make something he's more than capable of doing when teams put so much emphasis on taking him away. TJ Otzelberger talked about when he went up, he was like, look, there was a lot of pressure on Curtis Jones because now all of a sudden he's in the starting lineup. He's the focal point of offenses, and he was never really that guy on his AAU teams or in high school. So he's extremely comfortable in that 6-man role where he can come in and just bring that score. Jamal Crawford, Manu Ginobili, right? Lou Will, that's Curtis Jones.
Lou Will.
Lou Will, yeah. The old South Gwinnett product out of Georgia.
How about that?
Atlanta Hawk, Toronto Raptor, Los Angeles Clipper. Once you get thrown in with some of the best 6-man scorers of all time, you know you're doing something, and that's exactly who Curtis.
Juice misses the front end of the 1-and-1, and now we're under 3 minutes to go. If UCF can't come back and find a miraculous victory now, it'll be 5 straight losses and 7 of their last 8. And in just about each and every one of those losses, BJ, they've had a puncher's chance.
No question. I mean, this Knights group just a little over a week ago was on the last 4 in line, and barring something miraculous in the final 2 minutes and 47 seconds, they'll be 0-3 since they were on that last 4 in line. And opportunities are beginning to dwindle for some of those great wins. You know, they still have, as we mentioned, at West Virginia on their schedule. They're going to go out to Colorado, at Oklahoma State, Utah at home. It's Big 12 games.
Yeah.
We know there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities in this league, but, you know, out of number 11 Kansas, Baylor, and then tonight, you know, with number 10 Iowa State in your building, they would have liked to have got 2 of those 3 because that really would have pushed them much more forward in the net.
And what's the one thing that jumps out at you when you see those close losses? They gave up 90 points in 3 of those 4. They've given up 90 points 7 times.
The defensive end of the floor has not held strong for UCF during this stretch.
Chom lost it. Hall picks it up, and Keyshawn Hall trying to do his part. He's got 22 tonight. That leads all scorers. And now a steal. And Juice converts. Now full court pressure by the Knights, and Josh Jefferson calls timeout. That schedule goes to win that game.
No question. And the thing you got to keep in mind for fan bases as the Knights still turning up the heat is that as the Knights look at those games and say those are games that we can win, the opposing teams also look at those games when they see UCF and say, you know what, this is a game that we can win. Oklahoma State at home is going, well, we're bringing in a Knights team that we should beat. You know, the same thing with Colorado. They've struggled tremendously this year, but they feel it's an opportunity for themselves to get a win.
He's tough too. He's got it. At 21 the last time these two met. He's got 13 tonight, and it's too little, too late for the UCF Knights. Back-to-back buckets for Jordan Ivy Curry. He has 6. Now 10 on the timer for Iowa State. It looks like the number 10 team in the country will hang on and walk out of Orlando with a much-needed road win in Big 12 play. Here's Williams. Another 3 for Mikey Williams tonight. UCF calls the timeouts. Spelled doom for the Knights the first time these two met, and once again, Iowa State dominating in that category tonight.
Yeah, and a lot of it has been the quality of the paint points is Mikey Williams is going to pick in the backcourt. It's been the level of ease with which Iowa State has got some of these paint points, right? You know, all of those shots around the rim are not created equal. If there's a body in front of you and I'm chesting you up and you go up over the top of me and finish, hey, pat the guy on the butt, send him back down the floor, it's a good shot. There's been too many buckets at the rim for Iowa State where there just hasn't been a high level of resistance. Give a lot of credit to TJ Otzelberger for what he runs and creating those opportunities for his team, but for the Knights, still a little bit of a lackluster effort on the defensive end.
Jefferson back at the line, hits the front end of the 1-and-1. Johnny Dawkins' team this year offensively, they take and they make a lot of threes.
Yes.
They usually average 23 free. They make 18 of them. Tonight, they've only got times and have only made 5 of them.
As Iowa State plays defensively, they play smart. They keep their hands off, they move their feet, they get in the right position defensively. That's why they don't commit a lot of personal fouls on that end.
And so Mikey Williams will be whistled for that foul, and that'll send Tamin Lipsey to the free throw line. Well, it'll be road win number 5 for TJ Otzelberger as his head coach on the floor, Tamin Lipsey, will go to the line and shoot 2.
Strength, Rich. At this point, the Iowa State record has to be something like a lot to a little when it comes to losses. You know, we picked up, they were on that stretch without Milan Momcilovic, but we're saying, look, guys, when we're at full strength, when we're fully healthy, it's really, really hard to beat us, okay? The Big 12 title and the Big 12 regular season champion would be a little bit different if the Momcilovic injury never occurred, in my opinion.
And Williams, show of sportsmanship, helps up Tamin Lipsey. One of the toughest dudes in the country, Tamin Lipsey, took that shot and will slowly walk to the free throw line.
Right here, Tamin Lipsey looked like he might have been receiving a pass from Brock Purdy, the way he got hit. Brock Purdy would have never put him in a position, right? Brock Purdy would have made sure he could catch it, get some run after the kick. Iowa State great, Purdy.
And football fans, we love you here on ESPN Plus. Kansas State, Farmageddon to kick off
that game's
the college football season.
That game's up the street from Iowa, isn't it? It's a pretty close drive for the Iowa State faithful is what I heard.
Book your tickets to Ireland. There's Chom with the bucket, but too little, too late. Shot clock and game clock are nearly identical. No quit. They'll foul one more time. And just to pay that off and make our producer Greg Pike happy, he couldn't wait to show this. Farm again next year.
Yep.
K-State, Iowa State, a couple of Big 12 teams going across the pond.
Yep.
Until football season.
Believe it or not, Greg Pike has booked his travel as of today to Farm again. He will be there on site in attendance. So Iowa State fans, be on the lookout for Greg Pike in Iowa.
They talk about the tournament in Kansas City being Hilton South. It's going to be Hilton way east.
Oh yeah. All caps east.
Number 10, Iowa State will win their second straight game after dropping 3 straight. They're 19-5 on the 9-4 in Big 12 play. They'll get their 7th quad 1 win on the season and their 5th road win overall this year.
Iowa State is back healthy and looking like the team they were for the majority of the season. This is the right time of the year to start playing your best basketball.
Iowa State wins it on the road, 77-65, your final score.